A new series of minifigures has already appeared on sale and I could not ignore it. It has a lot of new parts from which you can assemble your own cool minifigures. Therefore, I bought the whole series at once and now we will take a closer look at it and I will show you what customs can be made from it. With you as always Papa Lego, let's go! In the first bag, immediately hit a character in a carrot costume. Lego is increasingly starting to add characters to the series of minifigures that complement the main sets. The figure itself has nice and interesting prints of jumpsuit and has two-tone legs, but for some reason the hair and face are a frighteningly acid orange color. This costume will appeal to all fans of unusual minifigures, but I decided to make it a little more interesting. Taking the head from the Lord of the Rings, I turned the farmer into a bloodthirsty zombie. Only he will not hunt for brains, but for fresh, crispy carrots. I think he would make a great boss in a Plants vs. Zombie game. However, I really wanted to get another cool character from this series for my fantasy world. Of course, we are talking about a medieval huntress. Included with it was a new part of the Grey Falcon, new print of blue tabard, and very cool leather armlet. The bow here uses a standard one, but it has not been produced in this color before. The cape for the minifigure is interestingly sewn. I have never seen one like this, and most likely this is also a new detail. But I don't understand what the problems with hair, Lego. The minifigure itself already looks good, but to make it even better I'm adding a few accessories. I didn't have a dark blue wood left, so I chose a black cloak with a headdress. I decided to use a long bow from the elves from the Lord of the Rings and, of course, I hung a quiver with arrows behind my back. Well, to make the falcon look more interesting, I added a few transparent details. Now this archer is more like a scout. But in this series there is another character who has also become very popular. Orc minifigure with new jaw and ear detail and shield with updated Trolls logo from the old Lego Castle series. It's great that we have the opportunity to collect an orc army again, but the minifigure itself leaves a lot of questions. Really misses the print of the mouth on the bottom part. The original shield prototype in my opinion looks more interesting and realistic than the new one. A brown cloak would look better than a red one, and there are many analogs of weapons that look much more interesting. Well, by complementing the minifigure with excellent shoulder pads from the Nexonite series, you can assemble a very interesting custom for your fantasy world from the original orc. A very good minifigure was a French lady with a new white wig detail. We could already see a similar skirt from the Queen from Series 15, and a mini dog in recent Lego City sets. If you didn't have time to buy a Queen figure, then you can make from this French woman by adding hair with a crown detail, as well as a white fur collar, which will give her more status. But do not remove your head with makeup either. I have long wanted to add a jester figurine to my city, and now I have such an opportunity. I found an old red and blue hat, took a head from a French woman and a Harley Quinn costume from a Batman set. Now another entertainment will appear in my city square. With a space warrior, everything is a little more complicated. By itself, the minifigure looks pretty good, made in the style of Japanese cartoons, but designed as much as possible for amateurs. Dubious color scheme, weird buildable blaster, and not tied to any series. For some reason, the prints on the head were completely skewed. The minifigure would look good with Zane's Titan from set 71738, or the mech from Avatar set 75571. But what can you make of it? I decided to keep the concept of the minifigure and replace the weapon for it, getting a Techno Knight in the style of the anime series. He can fight demons, cultists, and other monsters, and will appeal to all fans of Japanese cartoons. But for a female Potter, more universal details were used. And of course, many of them I used for my fantasy world. The colors of the minifigure and the well-designed prints of the apron and tools are interesting. Very beautiful headband, which will be a great replacement for the old version of the turban. From it you can collect a wandering merchant from the southern lands or the lord of dangerous and poisonous snakes. But even more I was pleased with the pottery. After all, it was from this that medieval people ate food. For a potter, a blacksmith minifigure is perfect, and by assembling a small outdoor oven, you can easily build a pottery for the production of dishes in your fantasy city. Another minifigure for fans of strange costumes and unusual characters. However, the performance is far from the best, because among the Chinese Lego there have long been similar minifigures and they look much more interesting. The kit included two high-quality rubber tails at once, but I worry about the safety of the lower part of the head. They made it too thin. However, if you came across this particular hero, then don't rush to get upset. Take the black head. It is often found on Star Wars figurines. Equip your character with pants and a brown cape. Choose a few accessories from medieval knights and you will get a great character in the style of the famous game, The Elder Scrolls Oblivion. From these customs, you can make a race of beast people for your fantasy world. But if you come across a young newspaper peddler, then you are more fortunate. It has a lot of new, unique, and useful details. Very cool short legs with patch print. And in general, the quality and elaboration of prints all over the body were very pleased. Legs can be used for both custom zombie apocalypse and fantasy figurines. I made a wandering hero out of them, taking a shoulder bag from the same minifigure. From a slingshot and a bow boy's head, you can make a village child for your settlement, and a hat opens up many possibilities for customization. You can collect the hero of the Mafia game or the Peaky Blinders series. I made a bartender who protects his drinking establishment from gangs and brawlers. Another child from this series of minifigures looks simple at first glance. Details from it fit in many ways only to the Lego City series. However, another detail from this bag causes delight. Wooden rocking horse. This has already been seen in Lego Duplo sets, but now the horse has been made for ordinary minifigures. With it, you can build a children's toy store, make a children's paid attraction in the town square of your fantasy city, or simply leave it as a toy of a noble prince from the royal family. The girl herself can be used as an addition to Lego City, especially since there are many accessories in this series that will perfectly complement her. Roller skates from the Space Warrior minifigure and a small blue astronaut toy. I think this space baby is best suited for the role of the toy. But from his dad, I thought for a long time what could be assembled, and decided that the brown details would be useful for Star Wars customs. Using parts from one of the Mandalorians, I made a character look like a space explorer from a retro 80s series. Instead of a babysitter's radio, he has an old locator and binoculars in his left hand to look out for his blue foundling, who is lost. Perhaps, of course, this is a coincidence, but this minifigure has a resemblance to the Mandalorian series. She herself is well done, but it's hard for me to judge her, because I'm not a fan of the old astronaut figures that have become so popular in Lego lately. Surprisingly, the figure of the zookeeper turned out to be more interesting. First of all, there is a new unique animal that we have not seen before. A small koala with an interesting attachment method. As a headdress, a cap from Dustin from Stranger Things was used. The torso is quite simple and has no special value, since such figures can be bought in the cheapest Lego City sets, but here are the legs. The legs of this character are very interesting, because they are made of plastic of different colors, while the colors are well chosen and complemented by good prints of pockets. These legs will be a great find if you want to make some zombie apocalypse customs. Well, in this series there is another character, a football referee. I was very surprised by the color of her t-shirt. Acid green like a road worker's. If I'm not mistaken, this is a new color and has never been seen before in Lego. Just like the new hair detail. She looks interesting, but I don't quite understand why her hair looks like a wad of fat pasta. However, the prints on the arms are very cool, and you can come up with many different customs with them. I decided not to go far from the sports theme and made figurine of Coach from the gym, as well as one athlete to whom she shows the exercises. Now you can add a gym to your city, and from the video in the tooltip you will find a lot of interesting homemade ideas for it. Series 24 of minifigures was really interesting, and this is the first series that I have collected in its entirety. I would like to see more often unique figures that don't belong to the main Lego series. I think there are a lot of useful details here, and I can make more interesting customs from them. You can see them on my Instagram, the link to which will be in the description. Well, do not forget to put likes, subscribe to the channel and press the bell so as not to miss new videos about customs. With you as always was Papa Lego, for all you cool minifigs, and I'm not saying goodbye.